Let's begin. Today is August 19th, 2024, and we're solving the Daily Turing Machine Puzzle. Today's puzzle uses the following 6 criteria cards. Criteria card 9, 11, 16, 18, 19, and 22. And the puzzle uses the green verification cards. The code above is your way to get more information on today's puzzle by searching the code on turingmachine.info. Let's go solve. So on our grid above, we've got our 6 criteria cards. On the top row, we've got criteria card A, criteria card B, and criteria card C. On the bottom row, we've got criteria card D, criteria card E, and finally criteria card F. So criteria card A looks at our 3-digit solution and will let us know how many of those digits are 3. Are there no 3s? Is there a single 3? Perhaps 2? Maybe all 3 are 3. Criteria card B will look at our first 2 digits, triangle and square, and compare them. So should the value of triangle be less than square? Should they be equal? Or should the value of triangle be greater than square? Criteria card C, again, will look at our 3-digit solution, but this time it will let us know a little bit about the ratio of even to odds. So should there be more even than odds or less even than odds? Criteria card D will look at our 3 digits, triangle, square, and circle, and we'll add them up, and the Turing machine will let us know whether the sum is an even quantity or an odd quantity. So criteria card E will look at our first 2 digits, triangle and square, add them up, and compare the sum to the number 6. So should the sum be less than 6? Should it be equal to 6? Or should the sum be greater than 6? And finally, criteria card F again looks at our 3-digit solution, but this time will let us know something about the ordering of the digits from triangle to square to circle. Should the numbers appear in an ascending order, meaning that they're increasing, as in the example 135? Should they be in a descending order, or decreasing, as in the example 421, or should there be no order? Notice that if we look at the example 231, it goes from 2 to 3, which means it increases, but then it decreases from 3 to 1. So that shift from increasing to decreasing, or potentially decreasing and then increasing, is one way to define the 3-digit code having no order. There have been other examples in other puzzles where if you have consecutive digits that are equal to each other, that also is considered to have no order since it's not increasing, it's staying at the same value. And remember, the objective of today's puzzle is to find that unique 3-digit code that abides by the 6 criteria cards that we just described. And we're going to start off with an initial proposal of 314. So I think the first thing I want to do is I want to find out a little bit about the ratio of even to odds. So let's go ahead and test criteria card C. Okay, so the Turing machine does not approve of my proposal. Notice that I do have 2 odds to a single even in my proposal. Since the Turing machine does not approve of that, it's basically letting me know that in fact there are more even than odds. So let's go ahead and type that up in section C. Okay. Next, I think I'll test criteria card D. So again, the Turing machine does not approve of my proposal. Again, I do have these 2 odds to a single even, but criteria card D is letting me know that I should add them up. So let's go ahead and add up. So 3 plus 1 is 4. 4 plus 4 is 8. That is an even quantity, but the Turing machine does not agree with that. So it's basically letting me know that the sum of the 3 digits should actually be odd. So let's go ahead and type that up in our notes in section D. And that is that triangle plus square plus circle should be, in fact, an odd quantity. So if we look back at criteria card C, and what we discovered is that we have a majority of evens to odds. So that means that we have at least 2 evens. The third digit could be either another even or another odd. But now in combination with criteria card D, we see that that third digit should be odd for the following reason. Again, we have at least 2 evens. If we add those 2 evens, we get an even quantity. But if we want the overall sum to be odd, we have to add an odd to those 2 evens so that we have an overall sum of an odd. So I'm going to put down in here an additional note that we have 2 evens and 1 odd. Now at this point we still don't know which one it is, but at least we know that we're dealing with 2 evens and an odd. And notice that we do have criteria card A, which will let us know how many 3s. Well, at this point, since we only have a single odd, it's either there or not. So that could be helpful to at least say, okay, yeah, the lone odd is 3. If not, it'd have to be a 1 or a 5 depending on some of the other criteria cards. We also have criteria card B, where we do have this equal. Potentially triangle and square may be equal to each other. There isn't any indication of that they can't be duplicates. And then of course we've got this criteria card E that'll add up the first 2 digits. That might be helpful in round 2 in case we think that maybe perhaps they are 2 evens and the sum is 6. So that would mean that we'd have 2 and 4. And of course criteria card B will let us know the ordering. Yeah, that's maybe something to look forward to in round 2. So let's see, I guess in anticipation of that, well, let's see, it's interesting that we also have this criteria card F that tells us about the ordering. So you would think that this in itself would order the 2 evens. So perhaps they aren't 2 evens. Let's see, or yeah, that necessarily triangle and square are the 2 evens. But somehow, well, whether it's increasing, decreasing, or no order, I guess we could potentially have 2, 4, 5 or 4, 2, 1 if it happens to be, you know, either increasing or decreasing. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, so this is basically 50-50, and maybe one other card will let us know about the ordering. Well, let's go ahead. I think, yeah, let's go ahead and test criteria card E. Let's see what that can tell us. Okay, so the sum of the first 2 digits is not less than 4, so either the sum of the first 2 digits is either 6 or greater than 6. So let's go ahead and type that up in our notes for section E. And that again is that triangle plus square is either equal to or greater than 6. And I don't think we can actually cross out anything, because, you know, potentially if it is equal to 6, you could have anything from 1 to 5, that's 6, and then everything in between are possibilities for a sum greater than 6. Obviously, the only thing we can sort of generalize is that you're not going to have two small digits for triangle and square. One's going to be rather large and the other one could be small to medium. But you couldn't have anything like 1, 2 or 1, 3 or 1, 4 or 2, 3. So, but that's not helpful as far as crossing out anything. Well, that does it for this round. We did complete our 3 Turing tests. We're now going into the phase where we'll be discussing how to construct a good second round proposal. So notice that we did not cross out anything at all, which has happened before, but that's the case in today's puzzle. So again, we didn't test criteria card A to see what that lone odd is. We know it could be a 50-50 in the sense that it's either there or not, but if it's not, then somehow 1 or 5, the other criteria should let us know, which one it would be. And then, of course, we did not test the ordering of triangle and square. And then we didn't quite conclude what the sum of the first 2 digits is, nor did we test the ordering. So let's see, what can we come up with? I guess if triangle and square were to be equal, then obviously it would have to be the 2 evens, and then it would have to be 4, 4, because 2, 2 is small, right? It's less than 6. So it would be 4, 4, and potentially, I guess it could be 3. Yeah, it would have to be 3, because I don't know if, well, based on ordering, I guess. No order. Well, I think all of them would actually be no order. So that would almost force circle to be 3. But I'm wondering if that's too simple of a solution. So perhaps, remember, we do have 2 evens. They don't necessarily have to be equal. It could be that triangle and square is some kind of combination of an even and an odd, and then due to the ordering, it could be that the circle is the other even and potentially not the same. So something like maybe 4, 5 and then 2. Although 4, 5, 4, 5, 4 and 4, 5, 2 would be both no order, and I don't see how you would distinguish between them. Interesting. Could it be somehow 6? It could be something like maybe 2, 4, 3, where the sum is 6. So we know that's our 2 evens, and we would order it, to differentiate maybe between 2, 4, 3 and 4, 2, 3, where that also has no order. 4, 2, and then maybe there is a 3 and it'd be circle. Let's go ahead and try that out. Let's say 4, 2, 3. Okay, so the whole premise of that was basically the sum. So let's go ahead and test the sum one more time, and hopefully we may be able to deduce one of these cards. So let's go ahead and retest criteria card D. Okay, so yes, the sum is 6. So let's go ahead and cross out the OR and greater than, so we have an equal 6. So the only way we can get a sum of 6 is if we have an even, two evens. Because if you have an even and an odd, that sum is guaranteed to be odd. And obviously 6 is even. So let's go ahead and cross out all of the odds for both triangle and square. Okay, and let's see, we do have this ordering that will now inform us, the 2, 4 or 4, 2. And so, again, if it's 4, 2, let's see, could we somehow use, I do have no order. So if it is no order, then it would be 2, 4, 1 or 3, or 4, 2, 3, and 5. Both of them include a 3, but it could be the case where it's not a 3. So we're still going to have to test, I think, criteria card A. Can we conclude? So let's see, if we test criteria card A, I do have a 3. If I get an X, I guess you don't know if it's increasing, decreasing, or no order, because you could have 2, 4, 5 or 4, 2, 1. Yeah. I may have to go to a third round. Let's see. Well, if it was ascending or descending, we would know something about. Well, let's see. Yeah, just because triangle is less than square does not guarantee that it'd be descending. It could then pivot back to a greater value. But I think, let's see, if we say, but I think the reverse may be true. If you say, if it's ascending, then I know triangle is less than square, which would make this obsolete. So I think we can say it's not ascending or descending for the same reason, because if it is descending, then I know triangle is greater than square. So I think we can deduce that there's no order. Okay, so that's helpful. So again, it would then default back to a 2, 4, 3, or 1, or 4, 2, 3, and 5. And I think in both cases, so we are going to know the order of 2 and 4, or triangle and square. But yeah, that does not guarantee that it's going to be a 3. Okay, so I think we're going to test criteria card B and then A. So let's go ahead and test criteria card B. Okay, so B is testing the order of triangle and square. Notice that I did choose triangle 4 and square 2, so that means triangle is indeed, or the Turing Machine confirms that the triangle needs to be greater than square. So let's go ahead and type that up in the notes in section B. And that is, again, that triangle should be greater than square, which means that, triangle is 4. So let's go ahead and cross out the 2. And then, square is 2, so let's cross out the 4 for square. And so we know it's 4, 2, And because we're saying that there's no order, it can't be, circle cannot be 1 or 2. But let's go ahead and just test criteria card A. Okay, so in this case, my proposal is incorrect. It does not include a 3. So let's go ahead and type that up in the notes. So we'll say the solution has no 3-digit. Okay, and again, we are deducing, based on the previous argument, that the solution has no order. Okay, and since it has no order, it's going to go 4, 2, so it can't be 1, it can't be 2, it's not 3, and we do have a single odd, so that means it has to be 5. So it looks like the solution is 425. And after I type it up, we'll confirm with the Turing, we'll confirm its authenticity. So 4, 2, 5. Sorry, the computer's lagging a little bit. All right, well, let's go verify. Four, 2, 5. Fantastic. Well, let's see how we did versus the Turing machine. So, as I recall, we did deduce F. So notice that we did test 6 criteria. We did 6 questions. When we had 6 criteria cards, that's always a good indication of, either tying or even beating the Turing machine. So notice that we did do C, D, E in the first round, all incorrect, and then we did A, B, D, we deduced F. So C, D, E, and then A, B, D. So let's go type that up. So C, D, E were all incorrect. Second round, A was incorrect. B, and we tested, I believe, D. It was D that we tested twice, yes. And that was correct. And of course, we deduced F, so we'll leave that blank. So let's see, how do we do? Yeah, so we beat it by 1 question. So I think the first round, even though we got all X's, it was a great setup. We didn't even cross out any digits. And then obviously talking through to figure out, what a possibility could be, and that worked out very well. We were able to deduce that there should be no order based on, the interaction between criteria card B and F. So that was very helpful to beat the Turing machine by 1 question. Well, please do add your comments if you notice anything throughout the solve. Did I miss something? What do you think? Give it a thumbs up if you like the video so that more people can find the channel, and of course hit subscribe so you will not miss out on the next puzzle. All right, until next time, have a great one.